platform powered by Zoom.
Welcome back to our special discussion on how to redefine the customer experience. And let's go ahead to our panelists and find out a little bit more about that journey. Akanksha, when it comes to handling money, I mean, these are very sensitive matters for people. Do you really want to hand it over to AI? I mean, what are those ceilings that you're facing in terms of, decision making, or where you take the customer experience to?
Okay, so if you ask me, I would always prefer to have, if I take it in one word, I would call it a personalization. Because as we all see, when we talk about money, it's very different. The kind of situation someone is going through, the kind of investment decisions, every person, even my investment decisions that keeps on changing for the same person in different situations, even the amounts, even the thought process, maybe my staying timelines. So definitely I would like to leverage the technology, but at the same time, sometimes having, as I say, a human touch, wherein somebody who can access my individual needs and give me a right advice. So here in technology definitely can help me to give me a predictive analysis that okay, this could be perhaps the right three options. But out of these three, if I'm in a situation that which one I should go for in my current situation, that is where the personalize your personal RMs can definitely give you a better guidance. A financial advisor here plays a big role over here.
KV Deepu, I mean, you've been somebody who's been watching this space and been part of this space for a while. We've been having quite a few conversations about this new hybrid world. So, in today's world, looking at the future, looking at the current sort of realities as we emerge out of the pandemic and getting into this hybrid world, what are going to be the key priority areas that you'll be focusing on?
One is, clearly, and ensuring that we don't fritter away the gains of the work from home era. So we have come out of the policy which gives complete flexibility to employees. They can choose from work from home, work from office, work alternately, from home and office. Clearly that's one. The other is ensuring, that we sustain the digital journey. So for example, I spoke about multilingual. Now we're extending that, across the entire enterprise. Clearly that's the second aspect. The third is the form factor that I spoke about. Voice and video are here to stay, and they ensure that we give as human and as real-time an experience as possible. That's the third aspect. The fourth is ensuring that for example, the co-creation model, the curating model, the co-browsing model, some of these which really came to the fore, how do we extend that across the entire enterprise? So I think these are 3-4 aspects which we are focused on, and as we get back into the hybrid world, it's clearly helping us. And not to forget security and employee safety. I think these are two aspects which continue to drive whatever we do, and that extends to our customers and partners as well.
Shubhranshu, question about the brick and mortar space. As we go phygital, how has the barometer of adoption been in the brick and mortar space?
I think the phygital adoption is working very well across the industry and for us, particularly when it comes to the area of due diligence. So consumers are now empowered, and large amounts of data access and large amount of internet access through smartphones mean that while they're on the go, they are comparing. There is a whole new genre of influencer videos. They are being able to engage on social media platforms. There's a large community, and we live in a country where almost 40 crore people are less than the age of 20 or thereabouts. So this is a hugely young country which is now getting hugely empowered with technology, and that makes for a virtuous combination. So I think the business of going to a dealership, getting a test ride, checking and clearing your doubts, testing the vehicle, etc., remain as important as they ever were. But there is a preceding part which has come into play, which is how they compare, how they get motivated, what they look for, and you can then read that at every touch point, and provided you're alert to the consumer signals, you're able to service them better and curate the experience that much better as well.
Where do you cross the line where you have so much of data on the customer, but there's also the issue of customer privacy and security of looking at the kind of cyber attacks that we are seeing? Gentlemen, Harin, let me start with you, because especially with the regulator always breathing down your neck, I mean, this is a huge area of concern.
Yeah, I think for banks, financial institution overall, I think continuously strengthening. So how we continuously invest in improving or uh, improving the customer's experience. I think there is one strong point where organizations are leveraging in terms of strengthening their core systems and the periphery systems as well. Because with growing digitization and uh, integrations available with fintechs, APIs, and all the other words that we keep hearing, I think there is one area of focus which every part of the organization understands, realizes, both in terms of one, customer education as well, when it comes to educating the customer in terms of OTP and all the other phishing attacks, malware attacks. On the second side, educating our internal staff in terms of what are the kind of policies at play, what are the things that we do as a part of the sign-off process, and of course, when it comes to cloud adoption, we have stringent controls in terms of ensuring that we are all around in terms of norms to have those leakages out of carbon.
Final word to you, Kunal, since you've been really quite to the point in terms of what you think are some of those challenges that companies have been facing. What are going to be those key trends, and you see security emerging as a key trend which will also in some ways perhaps limit some of the tools that companies can access when it comes to getting to know their customers better?
Yeah, and I think security is getting embedded across all parts of this, technology stack. So not just infrastructure, but across applications and the interface that you have with the brand. So that's one thing which is shifting. The second one, of course, is the privacy, data privacy, and the use of data that applications generate. What enterprises are doing is before they use your data, they're seeking consent. And therefore are able to, if you provide that consent, are able to provide you with personalized services. But security and the policies around privacy are significantly being deployed to kind of make sure that there are no infringes there, and yet we are able to provide better customer experience. So yeah, that continues to be a discussion around policy as well as what one should do and one should not do.
Indeed. And Samir, with the launch of 5G, what does it mean in terms of customer experience? I know we shouldn't just focus on the technology, but 5G has us all excited. What will it mean for our world?
So I think 5G is going to mean more, seamless integrations, more ease of use, more, immersive experience, if I may say that. We spoke about Meta, we spoke about integrations into multiple applications and devices. So that's what is going to be. 5G is going to be the way consumers interact with the companies or organizations or even with each other is going to change completely, because what we are used to versus what we will get in terms of the bandwidth, in terms of the usage experience will be completely different. It's going to be a lot more immersive. It's going to be a lot more hands-on. And, probably we are going to be living in a lot more virtual world than the physical world that what we are currently.
We've completely run out of time, and it's time for us to wrap up this discussion. It's been a fascinating journey of how each one of these brands and companies are redefining their customer experience in this new phygital world. We hope you gained some important insights. Thank you so much for being a part of this special show.